The Volkswagen Jetta is one of the most popular sedans in the executive segment. And it's just got its second facelift. But is that enough to take on some very stiff competition that it faces? Let's find out. The Jetta has always been pretty understated when it comes to design. No flashy curves or radical lines on the body, as you can see. Just a very elegant silhouette that will be hated by none. But what that also means is that the design borders slightly on the bland side.
The car you see here is more of a cosmetic upgrade than anything else. The top-end Highline model now gets new LED daytime running lights along with xenon headlamps and dynamic cornering system. The shape of the headlamp has been altered yet again to appear sharper than before. There's a new grille, larger with 3 chrome slats, which now merges seamlessly with the headlights. The bonnet is also slightly different, and along with the redesigned front, it now gives the 2015 Volkswagen Jetta a wider stance. The front of the new Volkswagen Jetta looks more premium and now closely resembles the bigger Volkswagen Passat. The top-spec diesel also gets these solid-looking twin 5-spoke alloy wheels. New boot lid with integrated spoiler, new rear bumper and redesigned tail lamps complete the upgrade to the rear section of the car.
The subtleness of the exteriors follows inside the cabin as well. You get a beige black combo on the dashboard, you get plenty of glossy plastic around, you get these fake wooden inserts as well, which I'm not too fond of, and you get this nice flat bottom steering wheel which looks and feels great.
The cabin is top-notch and more upmarket than ever before. It now features a 3-spoke, flat-bottom multifunctional steering wheel, which is also seen on the recently refreshed Volkswagen Polo and Volkswagen Vento series. But here it comes with paddle shifters and a couple of additional buttons for volume and cruise control. The twin cylindrical driver's instrument cluster gets chrome accents, adding to the premium tag. Feature-wise, the focus is clearly on safety. The 2015 Volkswagen gets 6 airbags as standard, along with brake pad wear indicator and fatigue detection system, which recommends a coffee break when it senses with the steering input that the driver is losing focus. The top-spec Highline also gets touchscreen music system and dual-zone climate control. There is no sunroof option or rear camera, so you'll have to make do with parking sensors. But it has other useful features like ABS, ESP and hill control on all variants. There's sufficient room at the back, so sitting behind taller drivers won't be a problem anymore. However, the Jetta is better as a 4-seater sedan than 5 due to the floor hump at the rear. The rear seat incline angle is nice and back support is good too. However, like the fronts, the seat compound is too firm while the bench itself is positioned on the lower side. There's a fair amount of storage space starting from the 510-litre boot. The door pockets are wide enough for easy access to odd items, both seats have back pockets, there's a deep center glove box next to the driver along with the ubiquitous cup holders. The B-pillar also gets a tremendously useful coat and bag hook. All 4 doors can hold a 1-litre bottle.
Now this is a segment that is strongly governed by chauffeurs, and as a result, backseat comfort is of paramount importance. If you fall in the backseat ownership category, you'll be happy to know that the Jetta is plenty comfortable at the rear. The seats are a little stiff, but nothing to complain about, and you've got plenty of legroom as well. However, it's the middle passenger who gets a sour deal, thanks to that high transmission tunnel and the AC vents which jut out into the cabin quite a bit. Powering the Jetta is a 1.4-litre TSI petrol engine and the widely used 2-litre diesel that we're driving here. Now you either get an option of a 6-speed DSG gearbox or a 6-speed manual gearbox that we're using here. Shift action is typical Volkswagen, very slick, very smooth. Now the only hindrance that I found here was the clutch action. You need to push it all the way inside and the travel is quite long, and that could be a hindrance for shorter drivers. Coming back to the engine, now this is quite an old engine and it's being used for quite some time now. And even so, it makes the current Jetta feel very alive and very quick.
This 4-cylinder 2-litre common rail diesel engine is rated at 140 PS at 4,200 RPM and 320 Nm of torque between 1,750 to 2,500 RPM. The same engine also does duty in a host of other cars including the Yeti, Superb, Passat, Audi A4, A6 and Q5 in varying states of tune of course. Torque delivery is almost instantaneous, and mashing the throttle will shove you deep into the seat with the front wheel spinning furiously and the traction control light flickering at an alarming rate. Now this might be an old engine, but there is no doubting its performance. Urban drivability is really good, with the diesel engine churning out torque from low RPMs itself. Sure, there is some turbo lag, but it's too negligible to talk about. Not only is the drivability good, but even in the mid-range, the chosen gear ratios are spot on. The engine is incredibly free revving and will cross 5,000 RPM in the lower gears, almost like a fast petrol. The Jetta has been right on top of the segment when it comes to ride and handling. The Volkswagen Jetta is among the few cars in its segment which has maintained a fine balance between comfort and sportiness. The suspension setup is reasonably firm and yet compliant. On one hand, it manages to bulldoze most of the road undulations, keeping the car's occupants free from unnatural jerks and bumps, and at the same time darts through fast-paced corners confidently with minimum body roll. The electronic differential lock and ESP further encourage the driver as the Jetta claws onto the tarmac as you exit the corner. The Volkswagen Jetta feels solid and well engineered with a suspension chassis match made in automobile heaven. The steering, although light, is fairly communicative and adds to the joy of driving. In the rupees 15 to 20 lakh segment, there aren't many cars that can boast of such driving pleasure.
Keeping the facelift aside, the Jetta still comes across as a brilliant piece of German engineering. However, the Jetta's competition consists of some very capable cars. And at Rs 18.76 lakh for this top-of-the-line manual diesel variant, the Jetta will need a tad bit more to come out on top.